now, News 5 Sports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Friday Football Fever game of the week at Harrison High School. The Panthers taking on Pueblo Centennial in a Class 4A showdown. Dylan Scott, Jake Gaden, of course, a special guest. Let's bring in head coach of Harrison High School right now, Al Mello. And coach, has to feel nice to finally play a home game after two on the road.
It does. For opening up in Denver right away was a tough one, and then a trip to Glenwood Springs last weekend is a long one. So being at home is always a great night.
Coach, what went on this season? I feel like early in the season, you're just learning about your team. So is tonight's game maybe a night where the switch can flip and you guys kind of get the MO of what your team is this year?
I sure hope so. Game one, we controlled the first half of the game. We ended up getting beat by a really good Green Mountain team. Last week we make a long trip to Glenwood Springs, and we played pretty well for a young team. And we learned a lot about the kids last week. Coming through with a victory after a long trip and a big bus ride, and it was good. So it'd be good to be at home, and hopefully some of these our young kids they'll step up and kind of show us what they got. And some of them they've been around. They're still young, but they've played for a few years. So we'll see.
And what about Pueblo Centennial? Obviously, they're 0-2. They're hungry for a win. What kind of a matchup do you expect with the Bulldogs today?
I tell you what, they're a big physical team. So that's going to be a good test for us. They run the ball extremely well. They play solid on defense. They are 0-2, but they've played a much improved Sand Creek team and a much improved Liberty squad. So I expect it's a typical Pueblo team. They're going to come hit you in the mouth, and they're going to do it for 48 minutes.
There you go, head coach Al Mello. Coach, good luck tonight.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you joining us.
Have some fun. There you go, head coach Al Mello from Harrison. Quickly, Jake, let's talk a little bit about Centennial. 0-2, the Bulldogs. They need a W tonight.
Yeah, I think if you want to have a successful season, it's starting tonight in terms of just getting a win. I don't care how you do it. It can be ugly. It can be beautiful.
Just win, baby.
Just win, baby. That's all that matters. There's a couple things to look at tonight. They lost to Sand Creek and lost to Liberty and Pueblo Centennial. Those are two really good squads. Harrison might be more on their level in terms of the competition that they'll see day in and day out. Some guys to keep an eye on tonight. Antonio Cardona, he's the quarterback and two-way standout. Justin Cruz for Centennial. Those two guys, big nights, got to have them for the Bulldogs.
We got a huge slate of games tonight,
Yes,
13
absolutely.
in total. Let's take a look at some of these games, Jake. Which ones kind of stick out to you tonight?
I don't know. I think there's a bunch of them. I like the Palmer Ridge game. That's pretty good against Sand Creek, like I said. Sand Creek coming into this game 2-0. Palmer Ridge also coming in 2-0. Who's going to leave the stadium undefeated, and who's going to leave with their first loss? That's a big game to me.
Of course, Pueblo East, Pueblo West.
Can't
You could
forget
throw the
that.
records out the windows
Yes.
when those two teams play. That's going to be a great one as well. We've got 13 games on the slate, of course, plus our game of the week, which is a good one, Class 4A showdown. Harrison, Pueblo Centennial. Going to be so much fun. Join us at 10 o'clock tonight. That's Jake. I'm Dylan. Always watching out for you. News 5 Sports. Let's send it back into the studio.